Well, welcome everybody. Welcome. Good morning. My name is Alex Farrell. I'm the camping director for Manypoint, and I'm so happy that you all made it. My friends online, I'm so sorry you cannot see me, but you can hear me, which is great. And they can all see the same thing y'all are seeing, which is up on the screen, our 2023 Adult Leader Orientation. Y'all are here. It's great. It's amazing. Thank you all for coming again. And as we are going, if any of you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to just raise your hand and we'll get them answered. People online, we have Michaela who will be answering the questions through the virtual chat. So if you just want to chat with her, just do that. If she needs to ask a question, she'll just raise her hand over there and I'll do my best to answer it. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Big odds are if you have a question, someone else can have that same question. So our agenda this morning, we have a slight little bit of an introduction, and then we have what's new for our program, what's new for our older scouts, our adult leaders, and then preparing for camp. So we'll go over key dates. We'll talk about some online submission stuff. And then after that, we will have sub camp breakouts. So you'll have a chance to meet your camp directors and or representatives from that sub camp. And then we'll also hear a little bit from the family camp at Frontline. And then for our folks here in person, and then virtually, we'll try and figure something out with y'all as well, and you can actually do this online. If you want to rebook for 2024, you can do that today. Everyone else gets to wait until March 1st. But for coming today, that is one of the perks you get is you get to go register for 2024. If you have access to your registration for this year, you can go on your phone or go on your computer and the Site Saver button, where there's that big orange button that says book me for 2024. If you press that button, you can do that for our online folks. For the people in person, if you want to do it, we can do it afterwards for you. So we'll help you out and get you all booked if you want to do that. To kick off right away, we're going to talk about our work party opportunities, and we're going to invite Rich up here to do it. A quick general synopsis for work party to be this year, June 2nd through the 4th. We provide housing and meals, and Rich is going to talk a little bit about what goes on up at work party. Rich is our properties chair for Manypoint, and he helps a lot with the physical stuff that goes on at Manypoint.
Hey guys, good morning everybody. Real fast, it's good to see these people out here. This nice warm day. But I'm just gonna make this short and sweet. This year, we have a lot of work up there at Manypoint. We had winter damage from the snow and everything. My main key thing today is we'd like to get as many people up there as possible. Again, he said it was in June, but we have a lot of things to be done this year. Our main key this year is we're looking for people with chainsaws to help up there. We have a lot of damage with trees and that up there. Must be certified through the council or certified through the state to be able to use a chainsaw. We'll take as many people as we can up there. We have a lot of things to be fixed. Camps, family camp, we need roofing done out there. We need a lot of other ins and outs. My best thing to say is go online to the website for Manypoint. There's the registration there. There's a little, we call that barcode thing you can scan. Automatically register that up for you. Give us your skills in that. The third thing is we are trying to increase our Manypoint properties committee. Anybody interested in being on this committee, we're looking for more members to expand this as much as we can. We're looking for younger people, staff, people that have been on staff before, anybody and everybody. As you know, Manypoint or any PSA camp that operate power tools and that, you must be 21. And that's driving camp vehicles and stuff like that. Other than that, there's a lot to be done today, so I'm going to turn it back over to Alex. If you have any questions, I'll be around for a little bit. Online, I have a sheet here. It does show you everything we're doing this year, so we'd like to see as many up there as we can. Remember, we feed you, we lodge you, and we give you a nice party gift at the end of the week. So some of them are really nice. So other than that, thank you for your time. I'll give you back to Alex.
Perfect. Thank you, Rich. Work party is a great opportunity, especially for those of you who have never done it before. You get to come up. It's a weekend long. It's Saturday itself, and we just do a lot of projects to help benefit men. And last year we had 70 amazing volunteers come up, and we do. They build new data sections for our beaches. They do some painting. Family camp groups. We do about 2 a year, just so we can keep up with that. This year, winter has been very rough up in Manypoint, just like everywhere else. They didn't get the Christmas snowstorm we got, so I don't really have much sympathy for them, but I still feel bad for my 2 rangers up there. But there's a lot of trees, so we are looking for people who have some chainsaw experience, to help out with that, as well as just general maintenance experience. If you can run a drill, that's helpful. If you can run a paintbrush, even more helpful. We have a lot of painting that needs to get done, so. Yeah, if you have any questions, you can just reach out to Rich or I throughout the rest of the day. So our leadership team, I know this is very hard for y'all to see, I apologize. But for our online folks, hopefully you can see it. But we do have some of our leadership team here today. We have our Buxton Camp Director, Danny Magus, right over there. For also, if you are staying in Buxton this year, Danny is doing that for us. We have John Bernhardt, who's staying in Ten Chiefs. He's worked in Ten Chiefs for about 6 years, I think. That one's gonna be the head nod. So John will be in Ten Chiefs for us this year. We have Abby Lotes, down in Flintlock. She, it's about her 5th or 6th year on staff as well. Some of you may know her older brother, Jack. So she is the younger version of Jack, if you've stayed in Ten Chiefs before. We have John Mullenkamp over there in the hat. He's gonna be our Voyager Camp Director this upcoming summer. It is his 6th year on staff. Got it. Perfect. And then we also have Brianna Anchors over here as our Family Camp Director, and it's her 7th year on staff. And she'll be running our family camp this year. We have our program directors. We do only have one here today, but we'll run through. We have Avery Mockington from Victoria. He will be our program director in Buckskin. We have Ellie Casella from Champlin, I think. And she will be our Ten Chiefs program director. Some of you might recognize her from Ten Chiefs in the past. She was the Buckskin tower director last year. We have Lydia Hill from Omaha, I believe she's from. And she'll be our Flintlock program director, so she'll take care of all the scheduling needs that you have, and all that kind of stuff. We have Haley Olson. She is from up around Many Point, I'm not quite sure. And she will be the Voyager program director. Some of you may recognize her from Buckskin these last couple of years. And then we have Ashley Schober. She is our family camp program director. Not 100% sure where Ashley's from, but go talk to her. She's here in person. We have that today. And then joining me today, as well as we have Mike McCullough. He's our campwide program director. Mike is my right-hand man, and he is the one who puts out fires for me. So it's great. What we got? We got some program updates. So these are some of the fun things. Some of you all might have seen this on Facebook already. If you use Facebook, if not, here are some fun, just smaller updates. We are bringing branding to outdoor skills. So a lot of people asked for it, and we actually went out and got a set of brands this year. It won't be an every night activity, but it will be an evening activity in each of the sub-teams. We are working on getting all of the fancy ones, like our Many Point logo and all that kind of stuff. But as of right now, we do have a letter set and a number set, so they can spell their names or the year or whatever that may be. Open pottery night at Handicrafts. It was the idea of one of our handicrafts directors. So on Monday night in each of the handicraft centers, we're going to do open pottery night. Kids can come in, use the pottery wheels. And then with pottery merit badge, all of those pots will be shipped off to our kiln so they can be fired and brought home. So that way they don't have to take pottery merit badge to make a pot if they want. Obviously, they can't make something obnoxious and enormous, but they can make a little pinch pot or a spiral pot or whatever or a little big monster. I don't know. And then this year, our biggest project is our nature center improvements. Selfishly, I'm a big nature center person, and I thought they needed a little bit of help. So that's what we're gonna work on this year. So we're getting new equipment. So we're working on new microscopes, new telescopes, new aquariums, as well as new educational resources. So we're looking at new books, new pamphlets, just updating it so we can stay up to total with what the schools are doing. This year, our new ranger, Jason, is working on aquaponics gardens for each of our nature centers. So each nature center will have its own aquaponics system. He's currently working on them right now. And I'm really excited to help be able to teach scouts sustainability and how easy it is to do these types of things on their own. And then just overall updating the program. We haven't done it in a while, and it's something that we just want to make sure we're doing so we can stay up with what the world is doing now. We all know things are switching to sustainability, and that's what we want to teach our kids about. So that's going to be one of our big focuses in the Nature Center as we are coming up. Older Scout program, we decided that we used to have Adventure Cove for those of you who've been to Many Point before, and we've kind of separated the Adventure Cove program. So we now have big boat sailing and kayak adventure. For big boat sailing, kids will get to go out and sail on our catamarans, on our 2 big boats, and we are in the process of working, and hopefully we'll have our sailboards available this upcoming summer as well. And then our kayaking adventure, they'll hop on a kayak and get to kayak in different parts of the lake. that they might not get to go to. So your 10 Chief Scouts who can't always go up to Fishhook Bay on the north side of the camp will get to do this in that type of program. They'll also work on general kayaking skills as they go out on these adventures. This year, as many of you have seen, we are getting new ATVs. We redid our contract with Polaris, and so now every 3 years, we actually found out Polaris put us on the permanent list with National, which is great, meaning every 3 years, I get 12 new ATVs. It's great. So this year we are getting our brand new fleet, so we're very excited about that. And then Older Scout program request. You all asked for it, we're gonna try and do it. This year, we are asking that 2 weeks before you come to camp, you submit your Older Scout programs. So that's gonna be the Friday, 2 weeks on Friday, prior to when you show up. And what we are saying is we are then promising that you will get your Older Scout schedule 1 week before you come to camp. Yeah, I know, right? I thought more people were gonna be excited. A lot of you have been asking for it. We're gonna do our best to do it. And we now have a system that allows us to do it a lot faster and a lot easier. So I'm currently working with the Flintlock leadership team to make sure that we can bring this to you all as we are going. We are then asking, once you receive that, we will not take any requests before you get to camp. But once you get to camp, we will we will take all of the drop requests. And then if you have scouts that want to add programs, they will be put back into the list and be put on the approval list to be put into programs. So we ask that once you have your list, you come to camp with, oh, Johnny and Jimmy no longer want to do treats. So that way we know and we can get those spots refilled on Sunday night when you show. But we are very excited to be able to get that out to you earlier. So that way you know what's going on, because that seems to be the biggest thing, and make sure that we get our trainings right and our paperwork right, so you all know, well, I don't need to get all 50 kids to sign the ATV form because only 2 are. There we go. Oh, 2 are. This year we're excited to bring back a lot of our adult leader opportunities. So the past few years we've been slowly coming out of COVID, but this year we're excited to bring a lot of them back. Adult Leader 5 stand every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning. There are only going to be 10 slots. So on April 1st, those spots are going to open, and they are first come, first serve. And you can sign up through your unit's reservation, just like a Scout would in Merit Badge class. And if you need more tutorials, we have tutorials online on how to do it. So just how you would sign your Scouts up for class, you can sign up your adult leaders the exact same way. Then we have the adult leader dinner on Wednesday night. That is right, we're bringing it back in person. You will get bused up to the dining hall, and the adult leaders will get to do that. And we are really excited. We're still working out the details on how our in-camp dinner is going to work for Wednesday night for adult leaders. This one's for you. Introduction to Outdoor Leadership Skills / Adult Leader Delta. That is also coming back. It's going to be a 3-day program. Looking for the nod from Mike just to make sure. So it's going to be a 3-day long program. It's going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And on Wednesday, we are also going to include Adult Leader Delta in. So it's just going to be part of the program now. And again, that you can sign up for within your unit's reservation the exact same way. We do ask that you sign up through the reservation, just so we know how many people we can account coming to this class, and our instructor can know what they're looking for. Adult Leader Flintlock Tours, we brought it back last year. We're looking to do it again. That's going to be on Tuesday mornings for our new adult leaders who have never been. And we are just looking to bring it back. We'll get you on the bus. We'll bring you around camp, show you all the cool things. Adult Leader Merit Badge help. This is something that Tomahawk started doing this last year, and something I'm looking forward to do. We are, of course, you are some of our best resources. We are looking for within your reservation, you can sign up for Merit Badge help. And that basically says, yes, I will be at Leatherwork and Basketry every single day to help those 10-year-olds make those baskets. And it's just so we know that we are going to have help. Or if you are a Merit Badge counselor for environmental science and we have a class of 60 kids, we know, okay, this won't be completely horrible. It'll be able to help us do that. So you'll be able to sign up for that within your unit's reservation as well. And you'll just be able to identify what Merit Badges you are going to be there to help out with. Or if you, I know back in the day, one of the biggest things we used to every week look for an engineer to talk to the class for engineering Merit Badge. This is where this would come in handy. Unfortunately, we're not doing engineering, but if we were, it would help. Same thing with Adult Leader Overnight. This is a big thing we're having, mostly due to our staffing shorts. And what we're asking for is some nights we will be looking for an adult leader who wants to come sleep in the tree houses or sleep in the on the Huck Finn Ranch. And we are essentially looking, if you sign up for it, you could get, we're still deciding how the process is gonna work, but you might get asked to say, hey, your scouts are out here, do you wanna come spend the night too? And that would help us out, especially with all these staffing struggles. We aren't going to say, oh, good, an adult dinner is coming, so we can put less staff out there. It's just to help us to make sure we are covering those proper youth protection guidelines as we are bringing your scouts out on these overnight programs. And then again, all of them can be signed up through your youth reservation. So we will have tutorial videos on the website within the next week on how to do those things. And if you need help, you can just call me here at the office and I can walk you through it. It's a pretty easy process. Administrative updates. If you haven't seen it quite yet, ManyPoint has a new website. I don't know how y'all feel. I think it's much better, but you are all the ones who have to use it. I just get to help you all work through it. So yeah, that's a very exciting thing. Most of your stuff, there's a planning for camp tab. And as you're getting ready for this summer, that's where most of your things will be found. A lot of what you will have in your unit planning guide will also be under the planning for camp tab. So you can, if you have any questions, you can just go to that tab and a lot of your answers will be there, as well as it refers to a bunch of forms that you might need. Those are linked and referenced in that planning for camp tab as well. So it's your one-stop shop for everything. This year we are moving check-in and check-out back to the administration building. This is a process system for us that we've been trying to figure out for years. We've been going back and forth about it. And this year we're doing it all just back up in the administration building. So this year, I know in the past we've had it where an entire troop has come up to the administration building. Please don't. What we're looking for is one person from each troop on Sunday and Saturday to come up to the administration building and do this process with us. We do encourage, if you do come in, whether it's the north end or the south end of camp, you just have either the scoutmaster or the camp coordinator or whoever a responsible adult can be, just comes up to the administration building and we can take care of everything up there. We don't need the entire troop to stop by. We will also have staff in the parking lot. So if you as the scoutmaster are in a vehicle and you just want to stop, we will be able to help direct the rest of your unit to the campsite to help get them where they are. So that way they're not just saying they're like, where we're going. So we'll have people to help out with that. And then we will also be sending out weekly emails once camp starts, letting you know and reminding you what everything you do need to have ready. That way it makes the check-in process go nice and smooth as we are going and getting you all in the camp. And then dietary restrictions. This year we're trying something new and we are making it a required field in your registration. So when you are going to put in Johnny and Sally Scout into the system, there will now be a little field that says dietary restrictions, and there will be 6 options. The first option being not applicable or standard meal plan. Most of your scouts will probably end up with that one. But for all of your scouts that don't, we do list the 5 that Northern Star accommodates for. And then there's a section underneath it for anything outside of that or any other notes that you have. So if you have a scout who has like crazy peanut allergies, you would leave it in that section. Yeah. If it's more than one? Yeah. Yeah, so as of right now, it's not set up that way. We could look into doing it, but if that's the case, you would pick, because Northern Star doesn't accommodate soy, but we do have peanut. So then in the comment section, you could leave also soy. So that way we have both on record still. It's just, we want to know what I don't want to say what the primary one is, but what one of the 5 we have, and then the other. And then we will still look at what the other comment is as we're going. But we basically want to do this so we can make sure we are getting as close to accommodation as possible. And also so we can make sure we are getting everything we need before your scouts come to camp. So we can get a count and say, oh, we have 30 scouts with a gluten allergy coming. We need to make sure we have what we need. There are many days where we go into Walmart hours before a meal and buy out the entire section, or drive to a Walmart and then have to drive to another Walmart because they don't have any. So this is going to try and help us get to that point where we can have enough on stock, so we can safely make sure we have enough food for all of your scouts as they are coming up to camp. And it's gonna be, if you have any questions about it, as you're going to fill it out, again, it'll just be the 6 fields. Most of your scouts will be the not applicable or standard meal plan. But if there's anything different, you can just click it. And if there's anything beyond what those 5 are, just throw a comment in the box and we'll make sure we'll take a peek. Any questions about that? Okay,
Do you just repeat questions after they're asked, because our online friends can't hear them?
I can repeat questions. I'm sorry. So a couple other fun updates for administration. Those are what our shirts this year look like. If you want to find closer, better pictures online for people in person, they are in the unit planning guide online, and it is in color online as well. So you can just check them out. This year I had a adult leader request that we don't make the logo as big and obnoxious. So I did it, and that's what we did. And so the reason why there's 2 rows, the top row are all cotton shirts, and the bottom row are those performance wicking shirts. The website is live. You can go in and order, and your unit planning guide talks about what dates are if you want to do the pre-order shirts and when you would get them. So you can just go take a look on there, and they should all be there. I'm actually very excited. I think they turned out pretty great. And then it's very hard to tell. We have the yellow, and then we have a navy, the purple, and then like a burgundy color. So plenty of options this year. We're also doing pre-order tie-dye shirts this year. So it's another suggestion by an adult leader. So if you want to do a true tie-dye, or if your kids just really love the tie-dye, what you can do is go on, again, in your reservation, and there will be a field for tie-dye shirts, and all you have to do is indicate how many and what size. And then what it'll do is it'll pull it all together when we pull a report, and then you can either pay for them ahead of time. Well, it'll have you pay for them ahead of time because most people, you get charged a unit account anyway. But you'll pay for them, and then when you show up to camp, all you have to do is say, we want our tie-dye shirts, and our training post director will just have them ready for them. So I know a lot of people are just like, well, panicking to find sizes in the store. Ooh, no, these little packages all for you, bring it to you whenever you're ready to get. And then the other thing is our the rubber wristbands that we've been selling in the trading post the last couple of years. Those do replace the paper wristbands that you have. And if you want to order them for your troop ahead of time, you can. And that will be under your primary contacts reservation. There'll be a field that says, do you want wristbands for your troop? They're gonna be $2 a piece. And when you arrive at camp, we will have them pre-bagged for you, ready to go. So you can just grab them and go. And every single kid will then get a little fancy rubber wristband to carry around with them until it breaks or until they lose them or whatever it may be. So again, this does replace the paper wristbands. So I know a lot of kids go through like 6 of them in 1 week somehow. I don't understand, but this will replace them. And yeah, you'll get them to show up, and it's great. Any questions about any of that? Yeah.
Are those wristbands only good for the current year?
Yes.
You're gonna change the color?
Yep. Every year the color will change. Yep. Nope. So, so the first question we asked is if they're going to be changed every year, and yes, the color will be changed every year. Sorry, my folks online are going to do that. And the other question was, are they required? And no, they're not. If you don't get them for your unit, you will just get the paper wristbands, and then they will still be able to be, if a kid wants one, they can still buy them in trainers. So this is just the people that want to get ahead of the curve, and if they want their entire unit to just have something, they can do this. Or if they want to buy one in the trading post, exact same price when they're at camp, they totally can. And that's totally okay. We're just trying to do this because we're just going to do a massive order of them on June 1st, and I want a rough count of how many I'm going to need. But yes, that's a great question. So no, the rubber wristbands are not required. They can wear the paper ones still instead, because we have plenty of those to go through as well. Uh, 2023 Merit Badge schedule. If y'all take out your program catalogs for the people in person, for the people online, you can just check it out. We did rework our Merit Badge schedule a little bit this year. We did a lot of thinking and a lot of considering and looking through it. There aren't a crazy amount of changes. However, the biggest change is that first class adventure is now first and second session instead of second and third. We did this. The biggest reason we did this is because now, right after assembly every morning, the FCA director can just say, come on, kids, let's go. and just wrangle them all right there. And we're not wrangling them after the first session merit badge. And then in an ideal world, and camp directors take notes of this over here, the FCA director will then be helping with leatherwork and basketry, so they could just walk them right to the handicrafts building. I know, it's crazy. Did you write that down over there? No. So those are some of the biggest changes that we threw in there. And it actually, I really like how this schedule turned out. We are only offering one session of citizenship in the society this upcoming summer. So that's another change. Last year we offered the 2 sessions. This year we're offering 1. Fishing merit badge is now 2 sessions instead of 1. Our hope is to allow kids to have in-class time to go fishing. And we're also working on potentially getting the kids some different resources, since they'll have more time to go out fishing, and utilizing some of our fishing outpost supplies as they are going. Oh yeah, BSA lifeguards coming back as a structured class. So if you have any scouts that want to take BSA lifeguard, that'll be taught in 10 chiefs at the beach. And it is 1st through 3rd, so it is all 3 sessions. So they can't get any merit badges, but they will get their BSA lifeguard certification, assuming they have Red Cross First Aid and CPR. So that is one of the requirements that they need to have. So it's a prerequisite to take that merit badge, or not merit badge, that class. We also added into our, this year, we added music and art merit badge. So for our scouts that are interested in stuff like that, we are offering those. We've had art before, but this year we added music in the rotation. And, oh yeah, we added our beginners and learners class back into our sessions during the 3rd session merit badge. So if you have scouts who, first class adventure, but you want to get them up to that swimmer rank and they're not quite, even though they won't be taking a merit badge, they could take beginners and learners. Where last year we made it as a unit activity, this year we put it back into the schedule so we can make sure we're getting those kids the help that they might need to get up to the swimmer rank. Because it's quite a big milestone for our students. Family camp. Brianna and Ashley will come around and help us a little bit later, but family camp has plenty of openings this upcoming summer. So if you're interested in staying in family camp, like I said, there's plenty of openings. We have 7 full-time dedicated staff that are at the camp to run program for you, to clean the facilities, to help you out with whatever needs you want. In the back of the unit planning guide, as some supplemental materials, there is the family camp schedule for what their week is going to look like and what programs they'll be offering for the guests who come up and stay in family camp this year. And we have 21 beautiful cabins. We have 6 RV sites and 3 tent sites that you can reserve. Price starting at $400 for a week for a cabin. All you do, you just have to bring your own food. We will entertain your kids. We do have a staffed beach, but we have we still follow the same BSA guidelines for the beach. So we have an aquatics director, we have lifeguards, so it's a fully staffed fun beach. If you have any questions, Brianna and Ashley in the blue polos, they're matching, so it's very easy. They kind of look like the same person, but I don't know, I get confused. Off-season rentals. One of the things that not a lot of people know is Many Points is open during the off-season. I know, your face just says it all. Very shocked. I know. So Many Points open during the off season. We're open for the entire month of May and then September through the end of November. While we are not open program wise, so I don't have staff up there running for it. If you want to come and rent a family camp cabin during the month of October or the month of September, family camp is open, you can. And they start at about $50 a night to just go up there. We have people stay weekends, we stay the weeks. We have Gaylord Lodge right here. I have had people stay a week, but Mike McCullough goes up every year and stays a couple of weeks, if not. And Gaylord stayed with Jay up here in the front. It's a very great opportunity. We can accommodate some units. There are some, we could do campsites as well. But yeah, we have Gaylord, Larkin, and Family Camp open for anyone who wants to reserve. And you can do that in the Camp Northern Star website and our weekend rentals. And then while you're out there, if you want, you can also rent canoes or motorboats or anything like that if you want to go fishing or anything like that. Each year I go up there in the fall a couple of times and it's absolutely gorgeous, especially because there aren't many people up there. All of us who are here today from Many Point have done weekends up at camp and it's a great experience. So if you have more questions about that, just let me know and I can get you more information about how you can get up there during the off season. Going on, we are, Betty Point takes great pride in our Older Scout programs. Not a lot of camps offer a normal program camp and an Older Scout program. And we take great pride in the things we offer. So as mentioned, we do have a very long list of different, tier one. Tier one is anything from an afternoon to an overnight program that we run. So that runs from about 5 o'clock in the evening to 7 a.m. So we have our treehouse overnight where the scouts, yes, go sleep in a treehouse. It's pretty rad. We have our Huck Finn overnight, which is a raft that they sleep on. It's also pretty rad. We actually over our, I don't even know how long they've been around. We've never had a kid sleepwalk off. That's fine. We're gonna keep it that way. We also have our fishing outpost overnight, so we are bringing that back to an overnight program. This year we are changing it up though, because of, again, some staffing issues that we've been having. This year we will have treehouse every single night of the week. However, we will only do 2 nights of Huck Finn and 2 nights of fishing. So the slots are gonna get a little bit more selective for your scouts, but that is just to help accommodate our staffing issues that we already have. If it comes to it, and there's only 1 night worth of fishing, yeah, we'll run 3 nights of Huck Finn, we don't have a problem with that. So it could change based off the week that you are coming up, or based off of, okay, we don't have enough kids to justify a treehouse unfortunately this evening, so we'll run Huck Finn and fishing, whatever it might be, to accommodate that. We have our mountain bike track. Last year, our alumni association donated around $16,000 for new mountain bikes to help our program, and we are still continuing to improve the program. So last year we got new bikes, new helmets. We are improving our mountain bike trails in Frontline. This year we're looking at getting actual like nice signs on the trails to make it like a mountain bike park, to make it like the scouts do. And last year, our mountain bike director, Hunter Smart, started our track that's going to go around the lake. We have mapped out a 10-mile loop throughout all of Any Point, starting in Flintlock, going down to family camp, all the way to administration and back. And he started it and he got about halfway to the way through. So that's about how long it's going to take. But we're very excited about that program. We're very excited about that program. That is just an afternoon activity. So scouts will just get to do a lot of mountain biking skills. Whereas different activities where they'll actually get to learn about mountain bike maintenance and trail building and all that kind of stuff that we'll talk about in a little bit. Big boat sailing and kayak adventure. I already talked about that one, so we're gonna skip that one. Our ATV safety course. This is partnered with the Polaris program that we are doing. So scouts, it's a 4-hour long program. Scouts will show up, do 3 hours worth of training, and then do an hour trail running. For this, there is an e-course that they have to do ahead of time, and that is in your unit planning guide as well as online. And if you need the link sent to you, just let me know. I have it saved everywhere because I need to make sure I can send it to you all. But we do require that e-course ahead of time because it cuts down the training time in half, which means you get a longer trail ride and we can make it more fun. And that's gonna be $45 per scout, and that is to help cover the gas and the repair costs. Scouts don't always treat the ATVs the best, and sometimes our ATVs make best friends with a tree. So it's to help cover things like that as well. And then we have our 5-stand. We do have an amazing 5-stand track course, sporting clays. And that's gonna be $25 a scout, and that's just to help pay for the ammunition and the clays as they're going. It's a 2-hour program, so we are offering 2 hours, 2-hour slots every single day for scouts. So there'll be 10 scouts that get to go out there, get to shoot the clays. It's gonna be great. Then we also have evening water skiing. So from 7 to 9, we'll pick up 6 scouts and we'll take them water skiing out on the lake with our speedboat that we have. And that's gonna be $15 per scout. And all of these throughout the week will get added to your unit's accounts, and then you can just settle it at the end when we do checkout, or however your unit wants to take care of it. Flintlock Tier 2, we have added a bunch of stuff to our Tier 2 programs this year. The first one is the return, rewind. First, we have all things, that's weeks 3 and 4. And it's gonna be an extra $450 per scout this year. Our vendor raised our price a little bit. But scuba is an amazing program. During week 3, we prioritize All-Star. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. If you have scouts that want to do it, you should. And that way they'll guarantee that they get into the school if they're interested in doing it. We take care of them. We transport them out there. We feed them. They get to do it in the mornings, I believe our session is. And then the rest of the day, they treat it like a normal weekend. So they get to do they get to partake in unit activities, they get to go to free time, all of that kind of stuff. They just miss the merit badge session. And then they get to earn scuba diving merit badge, scuba BSA, their PADI open water scuba certification. I think there's another one or two in there that I'm blanking on right now. But it's a really fun program. Last year it filled up the day it opened. Which is, well, not the day because it's part of the tier 2 registration. But it was the first thing that was, we had a wait list that was significantly long, but the next thing, all things aquatics. We are bringing this program back this year. It's going to be week 2, so the 4th of July week. And they will stay in All-Star. And during this week, they're going to do all things aquatics. So what they do is they get to earn Red Cross lifeguard, they'll earn their CPR, and then they get to do things such as like motorboating merit badge. In the past, I think they've done life-saving merit badge in the past. We're still working out the details of what that program is going to offer, but once we have a final decision on what everything is going to offer, will be updated on the website as well as in the event that'll be posted. So when by April 1st, the kids can start registering. Well, before that, we will have what is going to be offered with it on the website, and we will have it sent out to everyone. So that way your scouts can get interested. Water sports outpost, same program we've offered the last couple of years. They'll get to ride the jet skis, they'll get to go water skiing, they'll earn motorboating merit badge, and that'll be every morning during merit badges, so they don't get to actually go to their merit badge sessions. Instead, they'll come to Flintlock and do this class with us. We have Boulder Scout Adventure Blast, same thing as the past years. They get to do a little bit of everything across Flintlock throughout the week, but they get to do some of the extra fun things, and we are looking into some extra things to add to those as well. We're playing with the idea of potentially doing paintball up at 5 stand as well, off to the side. So we're going to look into that, and we'll see what happens. But we're trying to find all those little extra fun things that they don't get to do in a normal Flintlock program that they could do during this program. When I say paintball, they're not shooting each other. Can't do that. They can shoot targets, but they will not be shooting each other. I will not let that happen. So we're good. And then we have mountain bike outposts. This is the one I was talking about where the scouts get to spend a week with our mountain bike director and at our mountain bike course. They get to learn bike maintenance. They get to learn trail maintenance. They get to learn how to properly ride a mountain bike and how to do it on the courses. We've had a lot of success with this program. A couple of years ago, we had a scout who was biking, stopped and said, I want to go a trail right here. And he now has one of the trails on the course that he got today. And that's a super exciting thing. And we're looking to continue doing that. So if you have scouts that are interested in it, and if they come to saying, I want to build a trail, as long as it's not like a completely ridiculous trail that just drops 90 degrees, we can probably build a trail and they get to name it, which is super exciting. All-Star. All-Star is an amazing opportunity where we get to bring a bunch of scouts from units across the nation, essentially, and they get to form a unit on their own. So we have a lot of units that might go to a different camp or go to a different week or are going to the Jamboree, and the scout can't go to the Jamboree for some reason. Instead, they can sign up for the All-Star program. We do provide 2 staff members, a male and a female staff member that will be playing as the adult leaders for this All-Star troop. And they stay in the site with the units. So they basically play Scoutmasters for the week. Adults who are welcome to come and join as well. We don't discourage it, but we do have the staff there to do it. So if you just want to drop your kid off and say, all right, stay away, we can take care of it. Oh yeah, and it opens today. So it's very exciting. So if you have scouts that want to do All-Star, it is officially open today. I believe at noon it opens. So if you have kids that want to do it, and this year we are offering 5 weeks of All-Star. The reason why we're doing that is we want to make sure that we're offering All-Star and all of them between me and Tomahawk, that we're offering All-Star every single week of the summer. I drew the short stick, so I get to do an extra week. I'm actually very excited about it. I think it's be very good, and it'll get scouts up there during that extra week, give them the opportunity. The price for All-Star, I believe it's almost exactly the same price. So it's, I'm getting some nods. I haven't looked at it recently, but it's almost the exact same price. It doesn't cost any more, any less. And then you are still responsible for signing them up for merit badges, for Boulder Scout activities, stuff like that. But our staff will make sure that they get to their merit badges and get to their activities, types of things. That's their goal. Staffing and CIT. Believe it or not, we're still looking for staff. Anyone from the age 16 or older, we're looking for them to come work at camp. It is 10 weeks, but we can be flexible with that. I know a lot of scouts are signed up for Jamboree. And we can be flexible with things. Now, if they have to take 3 weeks off, different discussion. But we are looking for a lot more staff as they're coming up. They can, if they are under the age of 18, they can earn merit badges while on staff. My first few years on staff, I think I walked away with between my first 2 years, I walked away with 12 merit badges. Mostly because I'm teaching them. And I didn't have them, which was a little weird. But I was teaching them and I was able to get my camp director to sign off for them and I earned the merit badges. And then this year, last year we started it. We're going to continue it this year. All first year staff who are going on to higher education, whether it be a 2-year university or 4-year university, as long as they are committed full time, qualify for a $500 scholarship, which is great. And then if they stick with us a second year, I believe this year, our first year scholarship was around $1,200, I think. Danny's nodding his head. Yeah, it was around $1,200 for a second year staff member. And it is a check that we just say, here you go, put this towards school. And it has helped me all of my years through my higher education. I received a scholarship check and it was one of the greatest things that campus provided. I was very thankful of the opportunity that we got from that. So if you're interested in staffing, or if you have people who might be interested in staffing, you can talk to either Mike or myself and we'll put you in the right direction on how to sign up for that. And then we have our CIT program. We have 2 sessions, 5 weeks each. It's $100 and that pays for your food. But that is on our Scouts BSA program campsite. So if you have a scout who's interested in being a CIT, spots are slowly filling. So we only offer 20 spots per session, so 40 total. And we have about 13 in the first session so far. And that starts in early June and goes until mid to late July. Second session starts mid to late July and goes towards the end of June. Goes until the end of June. And we're still looking for kids to join us. This is one of the greatest opportunities that we can offer. It's basically a 5-week-long job interview. And just because you want to be a CIT doesn't necessarily mean you want to work on camp staff. It's just a great opportunity. A lot of kids do end up working on camp staff. Almost all of us here in the room were at CITs at some point. Almost is the fun keyword. We're close. But it's a very great opportunity. Some of my best friends that I still call my best friends today, I met when I was a CIT back in 2013. So we're really looking forward to that. And then we also have a CIT program for our family camp. And that's a 2-week program, $50 for those 2 weeks. And the way we have it set up is you sign up for weeks 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 4, 4 and 5. And what you do is you give us what you would like to do, and then we say, okay, well, can we get you these 2 weeks? So if you want to say your top week is 2 and 3, we're going to do our best to get you up there weeks 2 and 3, because we only have about 2 or 3 spots per session, I guess you can call it, for that, because we only have so much tent space for CITs. Again, CITs can earn merit badges while they're up at camp. They also do earn BSA lifeguard and CPR first aid Red Cross, because they need those for that, as well as they get training from some amazing people on our property. We have Dave Casello, who's our health lodge director. He's been an EMT for 20 years, 25 years probably, if not longer, and he teaches those classes. We also have Mike helps us teach sessions. Our CIT director, Sean Walksmith, is a doctor for Bemidji State. Not a doctor, he's a professor for Bemidji State, and he helps teach a lot of these professional development classes for our CITs. They get connections that last a lifetime, skills that you will use your entire life, and they are the future of Many Point. Without CITs, Many Point can't keep going. And we saw that after COVID. It's been very hard to be catching up after COVID because we haven't had CITs to hire from. And they are some of you basically, if you're a CIT, you're a step in the door to come work at Many Point. It's very easy. And that's the first place we go to once we start hiring is the CIT to help start filling our positions. So if you have people interested, you can talk to Mike or myself and we'll get you pointed in the right direction. And then how can we help excite your scouts about camp? The first one, going to our website, manypoint.org. A lot of information is on there. I know some of you are chuckling at that picture. I really like that one, and Travis, the director of camping and properties, doesn't like it, so I put it in here anyway. But we also have our Facebook page. If you don't follow us on Facebook, go ahead and give us a follow, as well as Instagram. We are on both. And we try to stay active with our pictures. We are This last year, we had our return of our communication director position. This year, we're doing it again. This year, I'm really excited. Our communication director is going to be a graduate in film study, I believe, or movie making, whatever it may be. So we're gonna have fun with that. And hopefully, we get a new promo video because ours is old and very outdated. So that's gonna be a big project that we have this year. As well as our program catalogs. So you all have those. We are gonna be uploading a printer-friendly version of the program catalog and the unit planning guide to the website right now. Neither of them are printer-friendly, and I apologize for that. But by the end of next week, we will have a printer-friendly version of both up on the website for you all to just be able to download and share with your kids. And then troop meeting presentations. If you need someone from any point to come to your troop meeting, we will make it work, whether we attend virtually or if we come in person, depending on where you are, we will make it work and we can come out to your meetings and promote the camp. We also can send other promotional materials. But YouTube as of right now has a bunch of older scout promo videos. So you can go on there and find those if your scout's like, what's a tree house? Well, you can find it there. And it does give a pretty good synopsis. While it's still a little bit outdated because we change things so often, it does give a good sense of what the tree houses are and what it looks like as they're going. Oh, yeah. Does anyone have any questions before I go switch to our other presentation? I decided not to put them all in one for some reason. Yeah. So the question was, do I have the cost for part-time adults? I do, not in my head. I can take a look at that before we leave, and then we can post it in the chat as well. People can look back at it. Yeah. Any other questions? All right, well, you all get a 2-minute potty break while I go switch over the presentation. And we're going to talk about all of our key dates as we're upcoming, getting ready, and walking through when things need to be ready for camp as we're going. Let's start getting back at it again. One we got to make tier 1 flunk activities, the afternoon activities. We're switching things up. So in the past years, how it was the 1 4-hour-long slot. We're going to go away from this. We're going to do 2 2-hour slots in the afternoon. And the reason why we're going to switch to that instead is to make sure that we aren't taking half of your troop for the afternoon activities. That becomes an issue. We've had times where it's just like, well, we were going to do Grease Watermelon on Wednesday, but all of our scouts are going to be here, so we have to redo the whole schedule. We'll make it easy. So we're only going to do 2 2-hour slots. There might be, we're still working on the details, but programs like the bike track program might be all 4 hours, where 5 stand, big boat sailing, kayak adventure, those will all be just 2 2-hour slots. And we will be figuring out the bus schedule as we're going. So the bus schedule, that was another question that was brought up. I was hoping to have today. I apologize that I don't, but it will be posted sooner than later on the website and sent out with everything as well. That way you can all have it ahead of time. It is getting a little bit more fun since we added a whole nother bus routes by doing these 2 2-hour slots. But we'll make it work and we'll get it to you in a time where you can make sure you know when things are going on and it's easier to reach. But yeah, that's our fun stuff. Other than that, overnight stuff has not changed. The overnights will still be picked up at the same time, dropped off at the same time. So you don't have to worry about that. Same with the morning activities. So those tier 2 activities, won't have to worry about that. Obviously, scuba is going to have a little bit different of a pickup and drop off times, but that'll be communicated directly to the scuba participants. So that'll be directed if you have anyone taking scuba directly with them. But the tier 1 afternoon activities will get a little bit funky, and we'll let you know what the bus schedule, but that's ahead of time. So I know last year there was a couple of hiccups with it, and we're hoping by knowing what your programs are ahead of time, you can be very communicative with your unit on what those bus times are going to be. Any questions about that before I move on? So we're going to walk through the key dates for this upcoming season. This is going to be, this exact thing is posted on our website under that planning for camp tab. And we're going to walk month by month as we get closer to camp. So we are going to start here in February, because that's where we're at. So attend adult leader orientation. Check. Good. Send program catalogs to your families. It is up on the website. Again, by the end of this week, we will have a printer-friendly version for that. But the version that we have online right now is good to send out, and you now have your physical copies if you want to make copies or just be able to provide it to the unit. We do have a few extra if your unit might want one more catalog for our friends here in person. I'm seeing a couple head nods, and we will get those to you after the presentation, but we only have so many copies. And there might be units that haven't booked yet that I might need to send them to, so we don't want to get them all away to everyone. But if you do need an extra one, just let us know and we can get them for you. Lockdown dating location for swim tests, or choose to do that in camp. Some units do their swim qualifications ahead of time at a local pool with a lifeguard. If that's something the unit does, start thinking about that now so you can get that on the books. Sometimes pools get booked out. And we want to make sure that if you're gonna do that ahead of time, you can. You don't have to. We will still do them at camp for you if you don't do them ahead of time. And then plan your March camp promotion meeting. Around the first week of March is when units start doing their promotion meeting for their troops and start giving them all the details about what's upcoming and starting getting those final numbers as they're getting ready. March, post a camp, summer camp promotion meeting. And then share campership information with your families. Who doesn't know what a campership is? Well, for our friends online as well, in case there's some people there, the camperships are scholarships for campers. So it basically, it's a council program that we have running for those who might not be able to afford their full time at Many Point. And you can find more information about that on the council's website and start looking through that sooner than later so we can get it all allocated and figured out to your scout. It doesn't necessarily cover the whole cost of camp, but it does most of the time cover a good portion of it. And I know it's helped a lot of scouts get to camp. So populate your unit roster online. So going into your reservation and start putting in kids' names. You can start officially, you can start paying the youth deposits for people, and that'll start submitting those final numbers. The earlier you do that, the less work it's going to be when crunch time comes in April, when it's time to start signing up for programs. So you can officially start doing that today, and you can just go in and start putting in Johnny Scout, Jimmy Scout, Sally, whoever might be coming up to camp with you. And you can change it. It is not set in stone. Yeah.
You have to type them in, or can you download from Northern Star Council?
So the question was, do you have to type them in or download them? I'm sorry, but you have to type them in. I wish it was easier, but because, so the 24/7 scouting or the scouting events that you all see, if I accidentally during this time call it Black Pub, I'm sorry, that's the side that I see, so that's what I'm used to calling it. But your scouting events is a third-party vendor. So it's actually not tied to National or Northern Star at all. It's a third-party vendor, and there was a family that came together and said, we really love scouting. Let's build a system for scouting to use. Now, the funny thing is most of the nation has switched to it, but National still hasn't picked it up. So it's not tied to our system. They are very good to us. That's why we can do things like download it and put things into Scoutbook very easily. But National hasn't picked up full time yet. So you do have to type everyone in. Do the best you can. The more information, the better we do. Obviously, first, last name, age, rank, all that kind of stuff. So expect to spend some time with your computer as you get to do that. Collect program interest from scouts. So start trying to figure out what your scouts want to do, even with your unit planning, your unit activities. Start talking to scouts what they want to do. That is online in your program catalog, and you still can start to figure out what programs you want to do. You have 19 slots to fill in the afternoon, so figure out 19 things. Most of our merit badges that we are offering, we are still doing the unit afternoon merit badges. This year, we changed them up again a little bit. Those take probably at least 2 hours for some of them. Things like fingerprinting take an hour. If you take this year, we're offering BSA snorkel. That's what it's called. And that's not a merit badge. It's actually a certification. We used to offer it in the merit badge rotation years ago. It'll take about 2 hours. It's a really fun program. Yeah. Do we have snorkels on location was the question? We do. We have snorkels, we have masks, we have fins, everything that they would need for that program. And they can use them during free time and during like troop swim and stuff like that. Yeah. But yeah, so start collecting those, start putting that together, and then you'll be able to sign up for that online. Honestly, you can start doing it whenever the link is live, and it's just a Google form that you can fill out. And all the programs are in there. All you have to do is scroll and click in your priority reservation. As you are building that though, just so you can all hear me say it, even the folks online, as you are building that, make sure you're prioritizing properly. If your scouts really want to do aqua trampoline, you should probably do it as number one. If your scouts really want to shoot rifle, 1 or 2. Like some of those programs do fill up very fast, and we only have so many slots for rifle. And in certain weeks in tent chiefs, when there's so many units, we can't go. So make sure you're getting those things where you want them. And yeah. Are we able to do 2-hour slots for some of those programs? Depending on the week and what those programs are. And the reason why I say that is because on our busier weeks, unfortunately, most likely not, just because we need to make sure we get everyone through. However, if you are coming week 2 and staying in Voyager when there's currently 2 troops staying there as of right now, yeah, you can do 3 hours of whatever activity. So unfortunately, it does depend on the week and what that program is. Aqua trampoline, probably not. Archery, maybe. But it does depend on what it is. Yeah. Any other questions about that? Okay, start submitting youth deposits online and start signing to online to sign up for programs in April. So like I said, you can go on or you can go online and start submitting those youth deposits and start getting those names in there. And then review summer camp registration tutorials. Brian and I are currently working on making new videos to update for our website because our old videos use our old website and it's gonna be very confusing if you're watching the tutorials from our old website. So we're getting those updated for you and we'll get them posted here very soon so you can watch those. April 1st at noon, the funnest day of the year. Program registration opens. So April 1st at noon is when you can start submitting all of your program requests. That includes merit badges and older scout programs. Your scouts do have to have their deposits in to sign up for programs. That's just how we make sure that, like, yes, the scout is coming. Yes, we want to make sure that they do that. So to be able to sign scouts up, you do have to have those deposits in. On April 15th, oh, no, I'm gonna back up. I didn't put it on there. That's my fault. On April 14th at noon, Tier 2 registrations are going to close. So the scuba, Older Scout Adventure Blast, water sports outpost, mountain bike outpost, and all things aquatics is going to close on the 14th at noon. So then on the 15th at noon, by noon, your scouts will know if they got into a Tier 2 program or not. Mostly because those week-long programs, and some of them, like scuba, all things aquatics, you might be coming up a completely different week than your new weeks. So we want to make sure people know as soon as possible. So you'll have 2 weeks to put scouts in there, and we are doing that by age rank. So your 17-year-old Eagle Scout is going to get in before a first class 13-year-old. And that's just the way we run our system. So you'll have those 2 weeks exactly to put your scouts in for Tier 2. Other than that, merit badges, you can sign up for merit badges up to 2 weeks before you come to camp. And if they come to camp and they change their mind, that is okay. They can change their mind. We will change it in the system and we'll get it to work out. Tier 1 with Flintlock as well opens April 1st, closes 2 weeks before you come to camp. So they can change their mind. They can edit whatever those requests might be. Same thing with the unit activity guides, unit activities, with Tier 1 Flintlock programs. If your scout really wants to do Treehouse, make sure it's their number 1. Almost every single time, every single scout is guaranteed to get their number 1. Past that, it's hard to guarantee what programs they're going to get. For those of you who don't know, Flintlock schedules on an age and rank basis. So again, 7th year Eagle Scouts are going to, or 17-year-old Eagle Scouts are going to get us something before a 13-year-old first class. And that's just so we can keep bringing our older scouts back and giving them the priority. So each year you just get more and more priority on what programs you get into. And we do that. We line them all up. We run down everyone's number 1. We restart, run down everyone number 2, and we just keep going. So we run through it that way. April, order your custom camp t-shirts, advertise our work party opportunities. So again, if that's something you're interested in, we encourage you all to come up and do it, even if you've never done it before. Even if all you say is, well, I only know how to paint, that's okay. We will still love the help, and we will still take it and still love to have you up there. And then April 30th, priority reservation deadline for next summer. So as of right now, you can all book your campsites without worrying about anybody else taking. April 30th, it opens up to everybody else. So if you are a troop that stays in Quetico, in Voyager, or like Powhatan or Tuscaloosa and Ten Chiefs, or Bridger, ooh, what's a good site? Yeah, Danny. Crockett's a good site in Buckskin. If you have any of those and you don't want to lose your prime real estate, you should probably rebook them. That way it guarantees. There are times where at camp, if you wait till camp, your site might not be available for next year, and we don't want that to happen. So make sure you get, if you're planning to come back next year, just rebook and we'll get you rebooked so we can get you, make sure you have your sites. May 1st, reservations for everyone opens up. We talked about that. Share campsite equipment option. If your unit doesn't have your own equipment and you don't want to bring up your trailer, we do rent equipment out to people. There's a slight charge with the equipment. We do tents, cots, tarps, patrol boxes, stoves. If you're troop like sheep herders, if you know what those are, we have those. I don't think there's a charge on sheep herders though. Michaela Shaker, we took that away years ago because not many people check out sheep herders. But if you do, more power to you. I've never been able to figure them out. But yeah, share that with your unit just so you can make sure that make sure we get you the equipment, and make sure you put that on your reservation online. So we can, when you get there, your equipment can be waiting for you. Submit unit afternoon activity interest. Again, that's a Google form that can be found. It is embedded in the planning for camp list. So as you're going down the list, you'll just be able to find it. It'll be a link. You just click on it, it'll bring you right to the Google form. You fill out your information, and it gets submitted to me, and then I give it to the office team up at many points. They get it out to the camps to schedule. Instruct scouts doing ATV program to complete the e-course training online. That should be moved to your 2 weeks before camp. I just didn't put there. So 2 weeks before camp, or your week before camp, when your scouts find out that they got in. As soon as they find out they got in, make sure they go take the e-course, and then when they're done, they can either print off the certificate or email it to office@manypoint.org with your week and campsite, and we will just keep track of it as we go. Yeah. If they did the e-course last year, do they have to do it again? Did they do the program last year? Then no. Even if it was at town hall, it's the same program. Yeah.
So are they earning the Minnesota safety certification for ATV?
Are they earning the Minnesota safety certification? You might be thinking of voting. So this is the American Safety Institute program that Polaris is partnering with. There is one. Gotcha. So the comment was that there was a certification for ATV, motorboating, and once that you're at a certain age, you do need to take those certifications. This unfortunately is not that. However, I don't quote me on this, but Brian told me that our state does recognize the ASI training. If you go look up the ASI safety training, you can find more details on the website. I'm not an expert about ATVs, so I'm not quite sure what the answer is. But it is a certification that they can hold. The online training takes about an hour, I think. That's not too long, but it does help us save time during the normal training course. And then submit your full payment in May. That way we make sure when we get to camp, we have nothing to worry about. June 1st, full payment is due. So you do have to have your full payment due. Obviously, there might be other charges that accrue while you're at camp, whether you order a birthday cake, you play Grease Watermelon, you do older scout programs, there's trading post charges, whatever those may be. As long as you are paid up through your reservation, through the time before you come to camp, we'll be good to go. We just want to make sure we're all paid in full so we can make sure, well, the kids are actually coming. before they get to camp. And then on June 1st, the tie-dye pre-order and the wristband order is due. That way I can make sure I have enough for everyone when you need them. I don't want to come to week 5 and not have any shirts for your troop that just ordered 40 of them. So we want to make sure we have enough for all those, and we need to make sure we order enough wristbands for everyone that month. 1 month before camp, share your packing list. That isn't on the website as well. You want to make sure you share information about medications at camp with families. Up at many points, I know it's a little bit different than Tomahawk, so it's a little bit of an adjustment. At many points, typically we ask that the unit leaders are in charge of medications. Some units bring up lock boxes. If you don't have one and need one, we do have one at camp that you can use. And typically what I've seen is the scoutmaster just keeps them in their tent, or in the trailer or in their vehicle, someplace where it's locked and safe, and then they help distribute. We do have a full-time EMT on site, as well as a rotation of licensed physicians as non-property. However, we are not a pharmacy. So we can give out some medication throughout the week, but we don't have a lot. And a lot of it's used for emergency use only. So make sure your scouts are just packing enough medication to get them through the week if needed. And no, we don't have to track it. For our Tomahawk folks, we don't have to track medication every week. Tomahawk, they have to have a whole book where they record all that kind of stuff. Post wildlife training with your unit, basically telling scouts not to have food in their tents is what the training is. We did include bear guides in all of your folders this year. Your unit can take a look at that. We do have the same recommendations up on the website as well. Don't feed the animals, don't leave food out. Use the bear boxes, use the food storage containers inside of them. For the folks in Buxton, not really much of a concern because there's not much food in your campsite. Organized carpooling to many points. So instead of having 50 vehicles come up, you can just get it done as little as possible. Share with parents how to contact many point. We do have our main line. And if you've been calling the office and getting hold of Liam recently, it's the exact same phone number. We forward that up to many point during the summer. If you have the 218 number, if you find that somewhere, that is also still active and you can call that one. But if you've been using the 612-261-2460 number, I have that memorized. I believe it's that one. That is how you can get a hold of camp during the season, or you can go through your unit leadership. If you are not at camp, you need to get a hold of them. And parents, same thing. If the parents need to get a hold of you, they can go through you. If they can't get a hold of you, they can call us. And we have someone monitoring the phone 24/7. So at all times, if there's an emergency, they can't get a hold of you, they can call our administration building and someone will answer. So that's something that we have. Submit the dietary restrictions and scanning events. We already talked about that. That is going to be required this year. If you don't know things right away, you can always go back and fix it up to the 2 weeks before you come to camp. So if you're just going to fill in scouts, like you just want to get it out of the way, put all their names in, that's fine. You can always go back and fill it out. Even if you just click not applicable for every single kid, and then you find out, oh, Timmy Scout is allergic to tree nuts, you can go back and it's not. We won't be pulling the reports until the Friday before we come to camp. So we just want to make sure we have that. Submit equipment requests to scouting events. Again, that's making sure that when you arrive at camp, we can have your cots, tents, and tarps all ready for you, and then collect health forms. We are still keeping part A, I think it is, of the health forms. So what we encourage a lot of units to do is before coming to camp, make copies of them. Part A, thankfully, is not the part that the doctor signs. So we're not stealing that part from you. We just need the main part in the form that says, yes, this person can come to camp, and we hold on to that for 7 years. But I do recommend just making copies of part A, and then when you hand us your folder, if you have them on one side or in an envelope or in a bag, so you can just take that and we give you this bag. If not, we do just report your health form, and we keep part A and hand you the rest of it. So just to give you all a heads up on that process. 2 weeks before camp, make the final changes. This will close again Friday at noon, 2 weeks before you come to camp. And we will send out email reminders as well, letting you all know that. And we can change things. So if the week before you come to camp, you want to change something, give us a call, shoot us an email at office@manypoint.org. We can make adjustments to your accounts and to your registrations, and we can help you all out with that. make copies of health forms, we talked about that, collect ATV hold harmless forms and ATV program certificates. Again, make sure we get the trainings, we get those. There is also a hold harmless form. And that's basically the liability form. And that is on the website that you can sign ahead of time. We do need both for them to step on ATVs. If we do not have them, we cannot let them go on the ATVs. And that's the same thing for our jet skis. If you have a scout taking water sports outpost, if we don't have the PWC form, which is on the website, and then I believe there's also a copy in your unit plan guide, we cannot let them on the jet skis. They can still do water sports outposts, but they have to sit on the beach, and we don't want to have that happen. I'll locate copy of you. Ignore the insurance certificate thing. That's not a thing anymore. I apologize. Share travel plans with families to let them know where you're going to meet, when you're leaving, all that kind of stuff. We always make sure with scouting that you do submit those things to the people who need to know. So in case something happens, and then submit merit badge, older scout requests, and unit activities. Again, older scout tier 1, you submit it 2 weeks in advance. They'll find out 1 week in advance what program your scouts got into. If you don't have them submitted 2 weeks in advance, we can't guarantee your scouts will get into a program. So just make sure we have those. Your week at camp. Leaders joining the text message update service, the remind service. So we have that. And we are also going to be, we have a couple of adult leaders ask us this year, we'll also be sending out messages when Flintlock evacuates. Because there's times where any point doesn't evacuate, but Flintlock does. Because of a storm or something like that, and we can't have kids do the overnights. So this year we're going to start sending out messages whenever Flintlock does evacuate. That way you know, oh, I have 6 kids coming back to the site. And you can make sure that you're ready and know what's going on with that. Health services, again, we have Dave Kinsella, who's our health lodge director, as well as our team of doctors. We do have sick call every single morning and every single night. The hours are blanking me right now, but they're immediately after breakfast and immediately after dinner. And that's you go up to the health lodge. If you need attention any other time throughout the day, they are on call. But first, just go right to your camp director and they can help out, see if it's, I don't want to say see if it's worth getting our health lodge director down there, but sometimes it's something we can fix without getting paid. Order of the Arrow. This year, this is news for some of my camp staff as well, is this year Many Point is partnering with the Order of the Arrow, and the Order of the Arrow is providing a camp staff member for Many Point. What that means is we are going to have someone at camp who will be working for the Order of the Arrow that will help us with all of these processes and all the call-out ceremonies and all of that. I'm really excited about it. It's going to help a lot with making sure that our OA program is quality, and that we're actually making sure we're communicating with the other councils with call-out ceremonies and all of those types of things. We are also looking at the potential and possibility of hosting a OA social once a week for the camps, and this person will help us put that. So that'll all be something to look forward to, and more information will come out that once the camp gets a little bit closer, once we actually find something. Billing and checkout and patch orders. Again, that's all going to be up at the administration building. I only need 1 person to come up for that. 2, if the scoutmaster or treasurer or committee chair wants to as well. And that's where you'll collect your patch segments, your year patch, and pay your final bill. We are still doing the blue cards through your scouting event registration. So that'll all be input on Friday night. And then when you get home on Saturday or on Sunday, you can download them and upload them into Scout. We are still working on actively updating them throughout the week, so you can see where your scouts are at and all that stuff as well. And then campsite checkout, as always, we want to make sure you check out with your commissioner. They give you the blue sheet, you give them back whatever you need to give them back. They give you the blue sheet, you come up to admin, we will send you on your way. And then after camp, promote winter camp activities. We do have 2 Scouts PSA winter camps. We have Snowbase and Northwind. Both are currently going on right now, and we should. Yeah, they should be outside right about now. It's a weekend-long event. It's super fun. I'm actually heading up there after this meeting because I volunteered to run it for the weekend. So that's great. It's really fun. I've been doing it I did it for 8 years before I took this position. We have 3 different levels of programs. We have our Experience, Spearhead, and our Outfitters programs, Experience. For those of you who have seen First Class Adventure program, it's First Class Adventure in the snow. So they work on a lot of basic scouting skills. And they're only outside during the day. They don't sleep outside. It's a super fun experience. Spearhead, however, they come up Friday night. We equip them with all the gear. Saturday morning, they go out to the field and then they sleep outside Saturday night and then come in Sunday morning. Tonight, it's gonna be gorgeous, actually, to sleep outside, it's gonna be about 32 degrees tonight, we're looking up at Stearns. But Tomahawk, it's gonna be good sleeping weather, which I know is a weird thing to say. But 32 is actually like perfect winter camp, when you say like 32-ish, it's getting warm at that point. Then our outfitters, at Northwind, we offer, search and rescue weekend, which they are search and rescue merit badge. We actually have professional EMTs, firefighters, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to teach the program. And then this year, we were supposed to have ice fishing, but we unfortunately had to cancel it due to the safety of the ice. This year, because of the freeze and then all of the snow, the ice just isn't safe around the start. So we had to cancel that program for this year. We'll hope to bring it back next year. Tomahawk and Snow Base has dog sledding. And that's a super fun program. They do it, I believe there's a couple weekends that they run it, and the scouts get to go up and get to run and help take care of a dog sled team. I have heard it's a nightmare to sign up for, just because I'm getting some nods in the back, but I have heard it's a lot of fun. And it's a really great opportunity. So if that's something you're looking into, we do offer that every single winter as well. Lost town items. If your scout lost anything, we bring it all down here to the council office. After camp, so if it's before camp, you give us a call at office, at the camp number, or email us at office@manypoint.org, and we'll try and find the item. There are certain items we don't keep, undergarments, we don't hold on to those. Because for obvious reasons, but we do hold on to things, if we find a class A with a troop number, we'll mail it back to you as the unit contact. If we find like shirts, scout books, anything like that, we do hold on to those, and we hold on to them until about November, December, and then things get donated if we don't hear anything. So they all get donated to local, like Goodwills and Boys and Girls Clubs and all that kind of stuff, just so we can not collect a lot of Nalgene water bottles, because for some reason, that's what a lot of people forget, is they're Nalgene, but they just bought it. It's really sad, but yeah, you can give us a call, and we'll make sure we try and find it for you. And then send messages to family about tick-borne illnesses. We do have ticks at many points. We have wood ticks and deer ticks, and we do have I believe there's a form in the planning guide, as well as when you leave camp, you will receive another tick advisory form. Just saying, make sure you check for ticks. Lyme disease, we have not this year, I think we had, the number was down a little bit, but staff, we at least have one staff a year who ends up with Lyme disease. It is real. We wear bug spray. We make sure we wear bug pants in the grass, but somehow we always end up getting it. So we just want to make sure you are all aware of that as you are leaving for camp. And that is all I have. Do any of you have any questions about that? Any questions? Oh, yeah. So the first question was, first class aquatics is built in the FCA again. That'll be on Thursdays, I believe we have it built. So it's the 2 hours, and those on Thursday, the 2 hours will be at the beach. So the all other 4 days will be in the first class adventure field, and then the 1 day they'll do all their first class aquatic stuff in 1 day to get it out to you. So that's really good. And then the second question was the shooting sports forms, because are they included in the health forms, or is that separate? Because they are not a national requirement, they're a state of Minnesota requirement, they are separate. Yet we still have to have them. Good question. Yes,
I have an update on the ATV Minnesota training requirements. On the DNR website, it lists the ASI safety training course as a perfectly fine alternative certification to get.
so for our friends online, Donovan just did some research, and the ASI is recognized by the state of Minnesota as a viable certification. So scouts who do take ASI can then go and write out trains. Any other questions? Well, if we don't have any questions, what we're gonna do next is we're gonna do a little bit of a breakout session if you would like. So we're gonna have, let's have John, you're gonna go to the high tops. Danny, you're gonna go to the archery range. And Donnie, you're gonna come right here. So if you want to talk and get a little bit more information about Voyager, you're gonna go join John over at the high tops, and he'll just do some Q&A. There's no really structure here, there's just some questions and answers if you have anything you want to add. If you want to learn more about buckskin, you can go talk to Danny, he'll be over at the archery range. And Donovan was our 10 Chiefs camp director last year, so he's here to help us talk about 10 Chiefs because our 10 Chiefs camp director is living in New York right now. So I wasn't gonna make him fly out this today. So Donnie's gonna be here to talk about that. Our online folks, you are free to go if you would like. Thank you for joining us for today, but then our folks in person, online folks, if you would like to re-register for 2024, please send an email to my email, which you can respond to off of the email for this link, and Michaela will send it in the chat. Please send an email to my email saying you want to re-register for 2024, and we'll get you rebooked and send you the notification there. But my friends here in person, if you would like to rebook for 2024, during this time, during the breakouts as well, feel free to join us over at the counter. Michaela and I will be here helping you re-register and get you all booked for 2024. Thank you all so much for coming in today. I really appreciate it. I'm excited to see you all this upcoming summer. Yeah.
How rude.
If I know,
Yeah.
So that's probably. But you might not have to say.
I'm not quite ready enough, so I'll answer your questions for the folks online.
Yeah, it's always.
All right.